Mike Tyson has shared details about his recent sparring session with Jake Paul. This alleged training session has generated significant buzz in both the boxing community and mainstream media.
Nice distance. Hey, bro! Nice one, Mike. Nice one, Mike. Bro! Nice one, Mike.
Fine.
More, Mike.
The news of Mike Tyson and Jake Paul training together broke the internet, with speculation rife about how the session would unfold. Tyson, known for his ferocity and unparalleled boxing skills, paired with Paul, who has rapidly risen in the boxing ranks, promised an intriguing dynamic. The sparring session took place in a private training camp, and it was conducted ahead of their boxing match. Iron Mike was supposed to fight Paul on July 20th, but the 58-year-old had to reschedule the fight until November due to an ulcer flare-up. The problem child made the decision to continue competing, set a date, and go up against Mike Perry and eventually defeat him. In 2020, Tyson's final opponent in the ring was Hall of Famer and former four-weight champion Roy Jones Jr. While the match wasn't officially a professional fight, both competitors gave it their all, resulting in an entertaining 8-round contest that ended in a draw. Regarding the fight, Jones told Out for the Count TV that he was surprised by how well Tyson performed against him and that he doesn't think Paul has a chance of injuring him. He said, "The fans love to see fun. It's so much better than Mike Tyson facing another active heavyweight that's truly active, because he's going to get hurt. Facing a YouTuber, he's probably going to make even more money, but less risk, because Jake Paul can't hurt Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson can hurt Jake Paul, but Jake can't even hurt Mike." Jones further mentioned, "I was very surprised with how well Tyson fought against me, which is why I'm telling you I don't think Jake Paul can hurt him, because it was hard for me to hit him, and I'm way faster at hitting somebody than Jake Paul." Attention is now focused on November 15th and the much-debated match with 58-year-old Tyson. Although the event will be officially sanctioned, it will feature more lenient rules than a standard bout, assuming it takes place at all. The two-time welterweight world champion Sean Porter stated he doesn't see it happening on his podcast. He said, "I hate to be the bearer of bad news. We're not going to ever see Mike Tyson get in the ring with Jake Paul." Porter suggests that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who secured a victory on the same card as Paul Perry and received the WBA's approval to challenge Paul for a championship, might actually be the one to face Paul instead. He argues that the fight with Tyson never made sense from the start. He added, "I see Chavez Jr. doing it, and maybe he goes back to Freddie Roach and they're able to work some magic again. I don't call the shots. I just don't think Mike getting in the ring. I just don't see it happening. It didn't make sense to me, even from a business standpoint. I feel like Mike and Jake, even to the lowest common denominator, it didn't make sense." After spending several weeks out of the public eye, Mike Tyson recently sat down for an interview with Esquire to share updates on his current life. Tyson said, "I'm a glory junkie. I love people thinking about me all day. I'd rather live a short life of glory than a long life of obscurity. It's just who I am. This is all I started fighting for, to get all this status. I'm going to be chasing it for the rest of my life." Tyson mostly stayed silent in the face of widespread criticism over his decision to re-enter the ring as he approaches 60. Deontay Wilder is just the latest among many to strongly oppose the idea of him fighting a prime Jake Paul. However, Mike is bluntly honest when he states he doesn't believe Jake Paul can hurt him. Considering his status as one of the most intimidating combat sports athletes ever, his words might be worth listening to. Wilder has yet to respond to Tyson's comment, but perhaps it's best if he doesn't. Tyson added, "I know that. I'm never going to get what I want because I'm one of those gluttons for pain. I can never get enough. Worried I will get hurt? Then let Mike get hurt. You don't have to worry about paying my bills." Everyone says this makes no sense, but he's how old? Wilder is not who I am. He can't go to Mongolia and have somebody know who the f he is. Mike Tyson, celebrated for his formidable strength and unparalleled legacy in the heavyweight category, has re-entered the training arena with newfound determination. Tyson seeks to merge classic ferocity with contemporary accuracy.
All of it's this. This is all twisting for like golf. And this, everything's this.
That's how you get the power?
Yeah.
What is it that you're doing there? You're really shifting your weight,
yeah,
right?
it's balance.
Yeah.
Before their upcoming bout in November, Jake Paul got a stark warning from Mike Tyson after knocking out Mike Perry in the 6th round. Despite the delay, the 57-year-old Tyson is resolute about facing Paul, issuing an intimidating reminder on X about the imminent fight. He said, 118 days, 16 weeks and 6 days, 17 weekends, 2,832 hours, 169,920 minutes, 10,195,200 seconds. The clock starts now. Furthermore, Tyson shared a video of himself silently gazing at Paul on TV prior to the latter's victory over former UFC champion Perry. The 32-year-old champion of bare-knuckle fighting periodically tested the chin of the YouTube sensation in a hard fight. In the 6th round, Paul delivered a jaw-dropping combination that overwhelmed Perry, leading to his defeat in both the first and second. That evening, Paul wasted no time in paying tribute to his valiant adversary. He said about Perry, "He's tough as nails. I'm sorry it took so long. I just hit too hard, but he took a lot of damage. That's a W, baby. I'm so excited." In addition to advising Tyson to sign the contract, Paul took a shot at UFC light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira prior to their much-anticipated November matchup. "Alex Pereira, you said you want to box. I'm the king of this. Come over and we can make it happen," he said. After beating Perry, Paul sent his own message to his next opponent saying, "Mike Tyson, your next big boy, sign the contract November 15th on Netflix. I'm excited for that one. I'm going to go home and prepare for that one. It's happening November 15th. Mike Tyson is training. He's back, looking crazier than ever. I'm going to get another KO and prove everyone wrong once again. Everyone said I was an idiot for taking this fight, that I was risking it, but this is why I'm here. I take big risks." In 2020, Tyson's last appearance in the ring was an underwhelming draw against fellow boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. His most recent professional fight, almost 20 years ago, concluded with him retiring after 5 rounds against Kevin McBride. Despite this setback, Tyson remains determined to make a comeback. Jake further added, "Mike, I love you, but this is my sport. You're a legend. You're one of the 2 most famous boxers ever to live, you and Muhammad Ali. It's an honor to get in the ring with you. I'm so honored. You're a legend, but I'm going to take your throne, brother." After postponing his comeback, Mike Tyson expressed his gratitude to his global fan base, saying, "I want to thank my fans around the world for their support and understanding during this time. Unfortunately, due to my ulcer flare-up, my doctor has advised me to reduce my training intensity for a few weeks to rest and recover." Tyson further added, "My body is in better overall shape than it has been since the 1990s, and I will be back to my full training schedule soon. Jake Paul, this may have bought you some time, but in the end, you will still be knocked out and out of boxing for good. I appreciate everyone's patience and can't wait to deliver an unforgettable performance later this year." After Jake Paul halted Mike Perry in the 6th round, he vowed to take on Mike Tyson next. Paul sent Perry to the canvas in the 1st and 2nd rounds, but the resilient bare-knuckle fighter and ex-UFC standout kept the bout going into the later rounds. In the end, the YouTuber succeeded in knocking Perry down again, leading the referee to stop the fight and award Paul the win. Jake Paul praised Perry's toughness and resilience. He expressed regret over the length of the bout and acknowledged Perry's status as the king of violence and a BKFC champion. Paul pointed out that his hard hits caused significant damage, leading to his victory. He mentioned that, despite anticipating a challenging fight, he was able to knock Perry down in the 1st round, although Perry managed to endure. Paul then turned his attention to Mike Tyson, issuing a challenge for a bout on November 15th, which would be broadcast on Netflix. He shared his enthusiasm for the match and mentioned his plans to return home and start his training regimen. Paul noted that Tyson had been preparing diligently and appeared more formidable than ever. His goal was to achieve another knockout victory and silence his critics once more. Paul, fully aware of the risks, underscored his readiness to tackle significant challenges. He voiced his deep respect for Tyson, hailing him as a legend and one of the most renowned boxers alongside Muhammad Ali. However, Paul made it clear that his goal was to dethrone Tyson. Paul also revealed he had been feeling sick in the build-up to the fight and that he suspected he had suffered a broken knuckle. He added, "I put it on the line. I didn't feel good leading up to this. I was sick and my knuckle was badly swollen up like a big ball. My knuckle was basically broken before the fight." Asked if his injury might delay his fight with Tyson, Paul said, "It didn't delay this fight. I'm a warrior. I'll fight through anything." As widely expected by MMA fans, Jake Paul achieved a knockout win against Mike Perry in the 6th round of their boxing match moments ago, showcasing his dominance over the BKFC standout throughout the contest. UFC fighter Derek Brunson opines that this conclusive victory diminishes the chances of a Paul Tyson fight materializing. However, the problem child's impressive performance has raised new questions about whether he will actually face the 58-year-old Mike Tyson on the rescheduled date. "There's no way they still do Tyson v. Paul," Brunson wrote. Along with congratulating Paul on his win, the UFC community also noted the "good finish from Jake," as former champion Kamaru Usman put it. While pointing out the disparity in size between Paul's matches, Aljamain Sterling also gave the former Disney star credit for constantly improving in every fight. Josh Thompson, meanwhile, asserted that Paul's triumphs were questioned since he competed against lesser opponents. However, it is said that Nate Diaz ridiculed Mike Perry on X, remarking, "LOL, he was shitting himself." Interest in a potential matchup between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul seems to have waned, with many considering it unlikely to be a fair contest. Tyson, who is nearly 3 decades older than Paul, faces significant health challenges, including mobility issues that occasionally necessitate the use of a wheelchair. Analysts note that if Paul managed to defeat Mike Perry, a battle-hardened fighter renowned for his resilience, a the 58-year-old Tyson, out of serious competition for more than 20 years, would probably find it even tougher than the BKFC standout. According to his agent, Mike Tyson has resumed training and is expected to return to the boxing gym by the end of the month. The former heavyweight champion, who is 58, was recovering from an ulcer flare-up. Over the past few weeks, Tyson has been engaged in resistance training and cardiovascular exercises, as reported by his agent, Andrew Ruff. Ruff also mentioned that Tyson, who suffered from an ulcer flare-up on May 26th, has been receiving treatment from Dr. Danny Issa, a gastroenterologist at UCLA. Ruff said, "Everything is on track. His doctor over at UCLA, they've been monitoring him really closely. They're super happy with the progress. Everything is kind of full track to get back in there end of July and get working. I've been told that everything is completely on track and he is on pace to have no limitations at all. His physicians, Dr. Issa in particular, don't believe there'll be any limitations at all." How Paul's bout with Perry would affect his fight with Tyson remained unknown. Ruff clarified, though, that Tyson supports Paul and his management Nakisa Badarian's choice to take on Perry. Ruff said, "Look, everyone is very interested, and certainly there were a lot of conversations, and this was Jake's and Nakisa's decision, and Mike supports it 100%, and we'll see how it plays out. We'll be watching very intently." Ruff claims that Tyson has been training in Las Vegas.
Nice. Come on, punch it. Yeah.
Being well enough to return to full strength training after more than a month off was the aim. Ruff said, "So really right now, it's been a focus on getting him back in shape to go do that, which he is. Health comes first, and that's something that his physicians were very focused on, and making sure that he's in the best position to come back completely 100% ready to go. And so that first moment, that was the focus, was on our camp, to make sure that he would be healthy and ready to go for Jake Paul." In 2020, Mike Tyson fought Roy Jones Jr. Despite his age, Tyson's athletic prowess impressed the audience. On the other hand, Paul, although much younger than Jones, lacks the same skill level. Before its postponement, the bout was anticipated to be one of the year's biggest combat sports events. Despite being 31 years younger than Mike Tyson, YouTuber-turned-boxer Jake Paul is fearless about facing him in their eagerly anticipated showdown this autumn. In fact, the legendary fighter has an optimistic view of the entire situation. Tyson, who turned 58 at the end of June, was said to have had nausea and vertigo in May while traveling from Miami to Los Angeles. His reps said in a statement at the time that the incident had been due to an ulcer flare-up 30 minutes before landing. The medical incident involving Tyson raised concerns and led to speculation about the fight being canceled. However, Most Valuable Promotions announced that the bout would be postponed following Tyson's consultation with healthcare experts. Meanwhile, Conor McGregor criticized Jake Paul for targeting Tyson again after his win over Perry. The former UFC welterweight faced an easy defeat against the YouTuber-turned-boxer during their early Sunday morning bout in Tampa. The 27-year-old Paul postponed his anticipated fight with the legendary Tyson to November by finishing Perry in the 6th round. They were originally set to compete this weekend. However, McGregor was unimpressed by Paul's performance and launched into a scathing and accusatory rant against him on social media. The former two-division champion wrote on X, "Jake Paul is the biggest piss bag I have ever seen in my life. 40-pound weight difference and still shitting himself in there. Nakisa, you should take him to Vegas. Oh, that's right. You could never. The athletic commission testing, real fighting." He further added, "You could never." And then calling out 60-year-old Mike Tyson fresh off an in-flight medical emergency, "I swear to God, a fat can of bit piss. Most valuable bag." Following that, McGregor turned his attention to Perry's performance. Perry, a BKFC star, came into his fight against Paul on a 6-fight winning streak. The Irishman, who co-owns the promotion, mentioned that Platinum is no longer part of the roster. He wrote, "Hey Mike, you're released, and you can go and compete in your smelly, dirty boxing championship thing. The smell of it. Good luck. You're fired." Paul quickly learned about McGregor's most recent accusations and his purported dismissal of Perry. The problem child wrote, "Conor's on Twitter all the time. He's on his yacht all the time. But guess where he's not? The ring fighting me, so he can talk all the he wants." But the notorious MMA Jake Joseph Paul from Disney Channel. During his short career as a professional boxer, Paul has faced multiple accusations of using performance-enhancing drugs. Despite these claims, the former Disney star has consistently denied any use of PEDs and has passed every drug test he has taken. In January 2022 message to UFC boss Dana White, he said, "Steroid test me whenever the you want. It is 2 weeks after my fight, and I'm a fat bitch. And I take it as a compliment because there's no other excuse to me knocking out all your champions than. This kid does steroids. Look at me. Look at that. A fat bitch." Meanwhile, Jake Paul also slammed Conor in his recent podcast appearance.
Perry apparently got fired from the BKFC by Conor McGregor.
It's actually kind of sad. I don't like it.
It is sad. No, it's sad. It's horrible.
Yeah,
Bro.
especially because he's like, bro, when you're promoting a fight, you can't be friendly with people, but I think he's awesome.
Yeah,
he's funny.
He's
great at promoting.
Mike's fantastic. He's magnetic.
It was hard to talk to him the whole entire week because I thought he was hilarious.
Conversely, Mike Tyson mentioned that his wife often tells him he doesn't need to complete his fight against Jake Paul. Paul claims that Tyson has resumed training at the gym after their match was postponed to November 15th. Nonetheless, this bout, which signifies Tyson's return to professional boxing after almost 20 years since his last fight in 2005, has faced substantial criticism. Even Tyson's wife doubts the event's viability. He said, "My wife keeps saying, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. And I'm like, no, I do have to do this." The YouTuber, however, is committed to maintaining his competitive edge because he is aware that this fight may be the biggest of his short career. Jake said, "Mike is the baddest man on the planet, one of the greatest heavyweights, if not the greatest heavyweight of all time. He has so much experience. I couldn't believe it. I was so happy, so focused, so one-track minded, then it just got pulled form underneath me. It was a lot to handle and it transitioned into something else." Jake Paul addressed the skepticism surrounding his choice to fight Mike Perry, with many questioning why he would risk the biggest payday of his career against Mike Tyson by facing Perry now. He acknowledged Perry's formidable reputation as a ferocious and undefeated bare-knuckle fighter, highlighting Perry's ability to take punches effortlessly, his speed, athleticism, and hard-hitting, brawling style. Paul stressed that he couldn't approach this fight lightly and was fully aware of the risks. He expressed his belief that maintaining a focused mindset would guide him to victory. Jake added, "I need the experience. I need to stay active. I fear no man. I'm ready anytime, any place, anyone, and I truly back that up with my action. It's not just something I say. I'm here to become world champion. I've done everything else I wanted to do in boxing. I've exceeded my expectations, so that's my last goal. I will be the cruiserweight world champion." Roy Jones Jr. has been sharing his thoughts ahead of Iron Mike's fight against Jake Paul. Unlike the exhibition match between Jones and Tyson that ended in a draw, Paul's upcoming bout with Tyson will be an official professional fight. However, it will feature larger gloves and be limited to 8 rounds of 2 minutes each. The first few rounds of the fight will determine the result, according to Jones, who spoke with All the Smoke Battle. He said, "It all depends on what Mike does. They've got 14-ounce and 2-minute rounds because of his age. So if Mike gets in shape to compete those 2-minute rounds for 8 rounds, they are going to be hard for anybody." Roy also mentioned that Jake had put on some weight, now tipping the scales at 230 or 240 pounds, which could play to his benefit. He observed that with this increase, Jake might be a formidable force, comparable in heft to Mike Tyson, potentially giving him the strength to dominate. Roy contrasted this with his own situation, pointing out that he wasn't as large as Mike and lacked the ability to push him around. He then said, "So they are kind of balancing the playing fields by allowing Jake to gain that much weight, because if he can sustain 3 or 4 rounds, he can win the fight, but they will be very difficult for him to sustain because Mike still punches like an animal, and if you can't push him around, he's going to beat you." The former 4-weight world champion stated in an interview with Boxing King Media that he believes Tyson's strength will put Paul in check. He said, "When you're a warrior, it doesn't really matter about age. We're warriors. We don't care about getting punched. No matter what age we are, that's what we do. If he can get in shape like he did with me to go 8 rounds, he's trouble. He's a problem for anybody because he's Iron Mike. Simple." Roy wrapped up by stressing that Mike Tyson lacks the ability to hold back, likening him to a pit bull unfamiliar with playing gently. He foresaw the match inevitably escalating into a brawl. Although Roy didn't think Tyson aimed to kill Jake, he was confident Tyson would assert his dominance and show he could inflict significant damage if he wished. Roy mentioned that as long as Jake respected this, things would be all right. Otherwise, Tyson would do whatever was necessary. In the lead-up to the official fight, rumors have surfaced that Tyson and Paul recently engaged in a sparring session. While details are scarce, these rumors have added fuel to the already blazing fire of public interest. Reports suggest that the sparring session was intense, with both fighters pushing each other to their limits. For Tyson, it was an opportunity to gauge Paul's capabilities firsthand, while Paul aimed to learn from one of the greatest boxers in history.
You're up in the air.
Mike Tyson, now 58, has remained a formidable figure in the boxing world. Despite his age, he has maintained impressive physical conditioning and sharp boxing skills. His return to the ring in recent years for exhibition matches has demonstrated that he still possesses the power and agility that made him a legend.
One more. Ah!
Tyson's approach to the upcoming fight with Paul is highly strategic. Known for his meticulous training regimens, Tyson has been working on both his physical fitness and tactical approach. The rumored sparring session is believed to be part of this preparation, allowing Tyson to familiarize himself with Paul's style and strengths. The announcement of the fight and the subsequent sparring rumors have generated a whirlwind of excitement among fans. Social media platforms are buzzing with discussions, predictions, and memes, with many eagerly anticipating the clash of generations. Media outlets have been quick to cover every development, analyzing the potential dynamics of the fight. Experts have weighed in, offering their insights on how the fight might unfold and what each fighter needs to do to secure a victory. The fight between Tyson and Paul is seen as a unique event that bridges different eras of boxing. Tyson's legendary status and Paul's modern approach to the sport through social media bring together diverse audiences, potentially revitalizing interest in boxing among younger fans.
Nice one, Mike. Sit roll. Bang, bang, bang. Sit roll. Okay. What's the best one? What's the best one, coach? What's the best one, coach? Sit roll. Okay. Hey, push on.
Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.